Hi, welcome to my little paintbrush. I'm Sarah, and today we get to paint this cute pig. It's actually inspired, obviously, by Pua from Moana, but it can be any pig you want it to be. And I'm going to use a couple of brushes. I have a large flat, a small flat, and a detail brush. These are my favorite for today. I also have a jar of water. You can use a cup of water or any brushes that work for you. You get to personalize this. That's what makes painting so fun. So have fun, right? Enjoy the process. Don't stress too much. Remember, you can pause the video. You can go back, or you can go faster than me. Go at your pace. So let's get started. I'm going to paint the background first, and our background is green. So I have all my colors laid out for me. I put my white in 2 piles and the rest of my colors on my plate so I can see them and easily get to them. And I'll start by putting my large brush in water, shaking it out. We want our bristles to be damp. Just gonna tap it off there. But acrylic paint needs water, so I always start by putting my brush in water. Okay, now to make our green, we're first going to take some white, put it over here in a pile. Then I'm going to take some yellow, mix it with my white. I'm not going to use all my yellow because I want to save some for later. We need it for another step. And then I'm starting with just a touch of my green because green is so strong. This phthalo green is very, very strong. Okay, there we go. I like that green. Now you can keep mixing and decide if you want it darker or lighter. I'm going to stick with lighter. I'm going to go to the top of my canvas first and fill it in. So let's paint the top of our canvas around our pig. Now I'm going to try and use the toe of my brush. It's the tippy point of my brush. I'm turning it to paint between all those little hairs. Remember, this is a painting, it's not a print, right? So if you accidentally paint inside the image, or maybe you have lots of brush strokes, it's okay. That's what makes painting so beautiful, okay? And you can obviously change your background color if you want. Don't have to do it like Miss Sarah's. You can do any colors you want, but I'm gonna just fill it in pretty quickly. We also encourage our artists to paint around the edges of their canvas. So while you're up here at the very top, you can reach up high and paint the top of your canvas too. Okay. Fill that in. Now, let's go ahead and do the bottom under Piggy's head and around the body, a little bit under the ear here. And I'm just quickly filling it in. If you need another layer, let it dry for a minute, go back, paint another layer on there, okay? There we go. Now your green will be more limey or more dark, just depending on how much yellow and how much of your phthalo green you mix. It's different depending on that. So you'll have different shades of green, which is awesome. We love it. We love to see all the different shades. Okay. Now, one thing I like to do to add a little bit of dimension to my painting and some movement, I'll put a little bit of white on the corner of my brush like that. And I'm going to follow the outside edge of my image. So right along our piggy here, we are going to add that white. Gives it a little bit of glow, draws a lot of attention to the center where our image is. See that? This is optional, just if you want to. It's something I enjoy doing, but you don't have to. Okay. Oh, got into that ear a little bit, huh? That happens. It's okay. Go along that edge. Brush it out. There we go. Make sure we don't have any thick paint anywhere. It's all brushed out, looking good, right? Now I can go back and add a little more white wherever I want to. So one thing I like to do is fill in any negative space with a little something. So right here under the head, I have my white there. Now I'm going to add a little bit of movement to fill in that negative space, just a little there. I'm just going to brush in a little white, see that? Not a lot, just a little bit. We'll do it on both sides. You can also use a detail brush to do that if it's easier for you. Put a little white there. Brush in that white all along the edge. See that? Yeah, I'm gonna do the same up here. I'm gonna go along the edge of the hair. It'll look like that hair is kind of moving a little bit in the breeze. And along the ears. There we go. Isn't that cute? I love it. Okay, let's rinse our brush. Now you have the option to paint Pua white. You can fill in this whole painting with white. It's pretty fast because your canvas is already white. So keep in mind that you don't necessarily need to. A lot of times when I'm painting, I don't always fill in an image because I do like to see my canvas showing through. And so if you want to leave that canvas texture, you can, or you can take your brush, make sure it's really clean, load it up with your white, and you can paint over Pua really quick here and fill it in with white. That is completely up to you. You won't be able to really see what I'm doing as I paint here because my canvas is already white, right? So just totally up to you on what you prefer to do there. If you want to take a minute to go ahead and paint it in, especially if you accidentally painted your background in to your image, this is your chance to go over any of that green or your background color that you had and cover it up. See how I can go over the green on that cheek where I painted inside and the ear, and I can cover it up with white. There we go. But I'm not too worried about it because, again, my canvas is white. So it's not super noticeable, huh? White paint does add a very pretty layer to your painting. So it is very nice when it is painted white, if you want to take the time to do it. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and paint the inside of my ears. So I'm going to rinse my brush, and I'm switching to a smaller brush. Okay, because I'm going to do my ears and my nose. And my ears and nose color, you can see I have pink and red here. Didn't mean to get the red. Okay, you just need the pink. So I'm going to take white, add a little pink to my white here first to get that rosy pink. Just like that. And you can just paint those ears, this rosy pink, it'll be so cute. I made it a little more peachy because I noticed that Pua's ears are more of a peachy color. So I'm going to mix together a little bit of yellow with that. See how it changed the shade a little bit? So cute. And then let's just fill in the inside of our ears. And we're just doing our best to stay in the lines, you know? We are not perfect at this. We are just doing our best. So I'm going to come all the way up and around, all the way down, fill it in. You can go around the outside edge of your canvas too, over here, and paint that pink too. Let's do the other one, all the way down, trying to stay in that line, right? And along the head, right there. Perfect. Fill that in, brush up and down, make sure you don't have any thick paint that needs to dry. Right, you want to fill it in. Okay, love it. And now let's do our nose. I'm going to come around here and paint my nose. His nose is shaped like an upside down heart. If you ever look at that nose, it looks like an upside down heart. Now I'm painting right over those holes where his nose, those circles, right? And you can too, or you can go around them, but I can see them through my paint. So I just went ahead and painted right over them. All the way down to the mouth. So I'm going to curve it down to the mouth, where his smile curves. So cute. Look at that. Love it. Saw a big drip over here, so I'm going to get it. Right? I love it so much. Isn't it cute? So go over any of the paint that you feel like you need to fill in, if there's a thick spot, or there we go. I just see that it's dripping on me right there, and I wanted to make sure I got it. Brush over it, give it another layer if you need it. We're just going to let it dry now. And let's work on our spots. So I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm still going to use my small flat brush for this. You can even use a detail if you want to. Okay, now for my spots, I have my brown right here. I'm going to add a little white to my brown, just like that, just to lighten them up a little bit. So we get this lighter shade of brown. You can go as dark or light as you want. Keep adding more of that dark brown if you want it darker. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to start filling in my spots. Start at the top of the ear. And we're going to circle it around like a big smiley face for that spot, right? Now your spots are going to need 2 layers because brown is so transparent. So I have to add 2 layers to get my spots to be dark. So if you notice, oh my goodness, my spots aren't very dark. That's why you probably need another layer. So I'm going to do my other little ear over here with this circle spot, and I'm going to spin my brush around in a circle to get it. See that? Fill it in. Your spots don't have to be perfect shapes because it's fur. You're just doing that fur. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do the spot on his leg here. Circle it around along the edge and the top of the knee. Cute. I love these little spots. They're so cute. Fill that in. We have one more over here. Just on the other side. It's a half circle though, not a full circle. That one's smaller. You might need a smaller brush for it, or use the tippy toe of your brush. All right, did we get them all? Got all the spots. Now we've got to do the eye and the hair. All right, so here's the hair. We're going to curve around both of the sides. I'm going to use the toe of my brush to do the point. But if you want to use a smaller brush, you can. It's kind of tricky. You might need a smaller brush. Or turn your brush and use the tippy toe. There we go. We got it though. Now let's do the eye. The eye shape goes all the way around our eyeball. This is the eye patch, right? Pua's eye patch. So cute. We got to go all the way around our eyeball, and I'm going to try not to go inside it because it's white. I'm going to do my best to go around that shape. It's a moon shape. But if you accidentally paint inside, it's all right. No problem. You can paint white over it in a minute. Okay, here we go. I'm going to come around. Now this part's small, so we might need to use a detail brush to paint that in, huh? Let's see if we can get as close as we can there. There we go. Perfect. All the way around. I love it. There we go. Okay, now once your spots are totally dry, you can go back over them with another layer. But you just want to make sure they're dry so that the paint will stick. Mine are dry. So if you need to pause for just a minute, you can. But I'll show you when I come back over here to my spots, look how much darker they are with my second layer. So much darker, right? That's why with brown, you just have to know you're going to have to go back over it, and it's okay. So I'm going to quickly go over my spots because mine are dry. But if yours aren't, just wait a minute and it's okay. You can go back to it in a minute. Oop. Not a big deal. And then you don't have to take so long on your spots either because you already have that first layer on there. So you're just basically going over and dusting those spots real quick. You don't have to spend as much time worrying about it. Now this eye patch. Mine's drying really fast because I'm under a bunch of lights right now while I'm recording this. So mine does dry faster than yours will. All right, I think we got it. Looks so good. I love it. I'm gonna make sure you don't have any spots that need to be covered, right? Just like that. Now let's rinse our brush. Perfect. Make sure it's all clean. Okay, now this next step that we're gonna do, you get to decide if you want to float with me or if you prefer to outline with a paintbrush. Totally up to you. It's got black all over my hand. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna float the edges with some brown. I just put a little brown on the corner of my brush like that. You can put white on the other side if you want to, or just leave it brown. Okay, but see when I brush, how the brown is just a little bit on the corner? That's called floating. Now this is something we teach our older artists, so don't feel like you have to try this if you don't want to, but it is kind of fun to learn. So I'm just gonna go along my edges with some of that brown. See that? It just makes it look like Pua has some fur there. And it outlines everything to give it some shadow, right? And then I'm going to show you how you can do it with a line brush too. So you'll have two options. And you can do what works best for you. So as artists, we all have different ways of doing things. And some of us like to use that line brush more. That's perfectly fine. Just going to go along the chin. And if you want to use the line brush, just go right where I'm going. Same thing, just with a line brush instead of this detail brush. Okay, going across here, all the way around the cheek. Perfect. We'll do the same up here. Let's come down and around. There we go. And we'll do the same on the top. If you want to add some on the top of the ear, right there. I I just curve the head right here, the top of the forehead, follow that line around. All right, and then let's do the body part. Oh, don't want that in there. And these knees where his little legs are popping up, I love it. Do the other side of his body. Popping up. Oop, up. There we go. And then the two front lines here where the legs are coming down comes down into a V shape almost. See that? Anytime I paint a little too much brown, just take white and go right back over it. Super easy to fix, no worries, okay? Oop, didn't mean to do that. Oh goodness. Ooh. Miss Sarah smeared that one. Fix it, huh? See? Go right back over it. No problem. Go on the other side and fix that side too, huh? There we go. Now let's let that dry for just a minute. Almost there. Okay, so now we're gonna let that dry and just do our eyes and our outlining. I'm gonna grab a detail brush. It's a small line brush like this. And you see these eyes, they are supposed to be white. And if you painted inside of them a little bit, I'm just gonna go around the edges of the eyes with my white on that line brush. You can use a flat brush too if you like it better. See, I'm just going around the edges of the eyes, okay? Just make sure your eyeball is white again. So if you painted inside your eye like Miss Sarah did, you can just paint the white over the top of it and fix it. Like that. All right, now let's do our outlining. And I'm gonna use black. Black to do my outlining. So here's my black here. It's dripping all over on me. So I'm gonna turn my plate, but it's kind of messy. Just what happens when you're having fun with paint, huh? Everything drips everywhere. Gets all over your hands. Okay. All right, so let's start at the top so we don't smear our paint as we work our way down. So I'm gonna come up here to the very top and I'm just gonna outline some of my ear there. Okay, on both sides. And this is optional. Maybe you don't want to do this outlining. You don't have to. You could just do the eyes and it will look great. This is just if you want to. Okay, so up here at the top, we have some hair that's curving around. So I'm going to outline that one. Comes to a very tippy point there. Right? And then we have another little strand of hair that's kind of peeking out over here on the corner. So I'm just going to fill that one in with black. See that? Just kind of peeking out there. And then these here, just to clean up the point on them, I outlined. So you can see them better, right? So cute. So you can just outline them to a point there if you want to. And then add a little bit of a shadow along the bottom. I love it. I'm still working at the top, working my way down. Now I'm going to do the top of the ear on this side. like that. And a little bit of the top of the head where it curves around for us. And do that on both sides. Love it. It's coming together, guys. We're going to start seeing Pua here. Do a little bit on the ear. And I like to do a little under each ear, just to give it a shadow and show where it is. Remember to keep your black wet, okay? Add water. You want it nice and thin. See how thin my black is? So thin. Okay. Now I'm working from the top down, so I'm going to do my eyes next because I don't want to smear any of my chin or anything like that. Wow, Miss Sarah's fingers are covered in paint, huh? Are yours covered in paint? Mine are. I'm a very messy painter. I just have too much fun with colors. So let's go ahead and go around our eye patch next. Follow it around here. Just like that. Go around the bottom too. And your lines can be really thick or they can be really small. Doesn't matter. Whatever you like. All right. Mine tend to be both. Just depends on how hard I'm pressing with my brush. Sometimes I'm pressing really hard and so I get thicker line. Now let's do our eyelid just inside the patch here. That little eyelid there. Just going to come around the top of that circle for an eyelid. And we'll do the same over here, but first I've got to add, lining up here with the top of our eye patch, I'm going to add an eyebrow for Pua. And it's just a rainbow shape eyebrow, right? Perfect. And then we're going to do the eyelid on this side, and I'm just going to follow that outline. It's on our canvas already. Whoop. Follow that outline around. Remember, if you accidentally go out of the lines or anything, it's okay. Let it dry a minute. And if you want to change something, you can. Just put some white on your brush. It's easy to cover up. Okay, so don't worry too much about that. All right, now that that's done, I'm just going to add the circle in our eye. And I like to outline first. You know, Miss Sarah, I love outlining first. It makes it easier. I'm going to outline first, then fill it in. Oh my gosh, I just ripped paint all over Pua. No, that's really sad, but you know what? It's okay. Because like I said, it's an easy fix. So we're just going to fill it in. Told you, Miss Sarah is a messy painter today. Let's do our other eyeball. Go all the way around. And then fill it in. Go. Cute. Just looks like Pua has a little mole over there right now, doesn't it? So what Miss Sarah does when I do things like this, because I do it a lot, I take off the paint as much as I can, just like that. Let it dry for a minute. Okay? And then you can go back and paint over it, but you have to let it dry. Very important. Okay, so now let's outline Pua's nose here. All the way around. Perfect. And then 2 little circles in the middle of the nose for his snout and outlining them. Cute. Love his little nose. And then let's fill it in. Cute, right? Love it. And then let's add the smile. Just a little smile here. What a cutie. What a cutie he is. Just makes you happy to look at him, huh? And the fun thing with his smile is he's moving all over the place all the time. So smile can change. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, let's let that dry a minute. I wonder if I can touch up my piggy yet where I dripped the black. Let's do our cheeks first. Let's outline them. And then we'll check. Okay. So you can come all the way across if you want to, or just kind of let it fade out. Totally up to you on the outlining of the chin. And we're going to come down the body. Curve it around a little bit. Both sides. Perfect. Do a little bit of the leg here, coming around. Just so we can see where it is and it really highlights it better. Right? And I do a little bit here too, but not all the way up, just a little bit. Perfect. Okay, let's add some little hooves. What do you think? Is that what we call them on our piggy? You just curve it a little bit with that black right at the bottom of your canvas. You can add them all by yourself. Just a little line just above. Just showing the very top of them. Come all the way across. Just fill it in with some black. See that? So cute. And then I curve these ones here on the edge. On the side. Oh, love it. It's adorable. And then you can kind of add a little bit of shading if you want to your circles, to those patches. Don't necessarily go all the way around and just add a little bit for detail. Add some up here. There we go. Little one on this one, just along the bottom. Isn't that cute? Go. You guys did so good. Okay, let's see if Miss Sarah's paint is dry enough there that I can just cover it up and show you how you cover up little spots that maybe you don't like. See that? Anywhere it might be bugging you. You just take your white paint, go right over it, cover it up. Now the green is a little trickier because we used up all the paint, right? You have to mix a little bit, which is always tricky because you don't know if you'll get close to the same color or not, but we did okay. We did all right there. Add a little bit there. I can keep adding layers if I want to, or just leave it. All right, you guys, let's just add our highlights. Ready to add your highlights to your painting? You're about done. Looks so cute. Couple highlights and you've done it. A little more there and there. Now for highlighting, you can grab your long detail or skinny thin brush, or you can use a flat brush. And you're just gonna add white. So I'm gonna put a little bit of white on my brush here in the very corner. And for my highlights, I'm gonna put some of my ears to show where the light is touching. Just like that. And add some in this ear. Just along that outside edge, brush it in. We're gonna put some on our nose. Just along the top of our nose. You know, piggies have a wet nose. I'm gonna add a little bit of light there. And then some along the top of the head. And our little spots here. And here. Isn't that cute when you add just a little bit of light to it? Okay, and a little bit along the top of the eye too. Go right around here. That's so cute. And then just some in the hair. So we're just gonna add a little bit of light here, just along the top of the hair, just to show where that's curving. I love it. Okay, let's use the back of our brush to stamp a reflection in each eye. So I'm gonna stamp it so it looks like he's looking at his nose because he's being silly. Ooh, yeah, a little more on that one, huh? Good stamp on that. There we go. Oh, that's cute. So cute. And then if you want to, you can use your detail brush to put some light in the nose, just right here in the corner. See, I did kind of a smiley shape in the nose. So cute. All right. I think I covered up my little mess up, huh? My little accident. It happens. It's okay. All right, the last thing we're gonna do is sign our name because we are pretty proud of our work, aren't we? We did an awesome job. So make sure, even if it's just your thumbprint or a smiley face or your initials, anything to let everyone know that you are proud of your work. Let's see, I'm gonna put my signature right over here. You guys did so great. I hope you had fun painting with me. Painting this cute piggy. Be sure to tag us. You can do hashtag my little paintbrush so we can see your work too. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.